She had a great eye for history. You can ask wonderful Dr. Trutnow and his staff. She saved things that other people would have thrown away. She knew that history is about people. As I said, I am not a historian. There may be some mistakes in the book I wrote about her and the one I followed up with about my experiences. They are memoirs rather than documentaries. They are the story of a very human woman who was strong, determined, who went where women had not gone before, and who lived an exciting, dramatic life across a slice of history, world history, that cannot be and should not be forgotten. I am so touched to see the treasures, as well as the documents and photographs that she collected over the years, come to this Ayrton Museum. I have to be honest with you, I was intimidated because there were so many photographs, so many documents. All these boxes sat on our shelves in the basement, and they looked at me. What are you going to do about us? And I would say, I don't know. And for 12 years, I couldn't tackle the job of writing my mother's story because I thought, I need an archivist, I need a historian, I need a secretary, I need 6 secretaries. And I didn't have any of these things. So one day I said, I'm not getting any younger. I can't keep putting this off indefinitely. I used to criticize my mother, Marion, for exactly that same thing. I gave her a hard time about not writing her memoirs. And when she died in 1992, I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to have to be the one to do it because it has to be done. So I just sat down and I wrote it from memory. And that's why you may find some mistakes in it. I was very fortunate. She was more like a sister to me than a mother. She told me everything. And I have a pretty good memory. So when I started writing it down, it just kept coming and kept coming. And I am delighted that when Dr. Trutnow and also Ms. Finn and her colleagues at the American Embassy saw this book, that they encouraged me to stay in contact with the museum. When Dr. Trutnow came to our home to see what we had, I had told him, well, let's see, we have uniforms, we have her evening gowns, we have things like that. But the truth was, there were many, many boxes I hadn't even opened. And he and I sat in my sewing room at a folding table, and we opened the boxes together. I have learned so much. There are treasures in this collection that have been with me and my family for more than 60 years. And I never realized until it happened what great joy it would bring me to see the treasures leave my home, because they go to the right place. They come to Berlin, they come home. And also because I know they are truly respected and well cared for. I'll tell you a little story of something that happened day before yesterday. Curator Florian Weiss and his staff gave my photographer, Tom King, and me a chance to see the back room, the workroom, and the exhibit that was still in the process of being set up. And I saw some dolls of mine and some jewelry of my mom's and a couple of jewelry boxes and things. And I reached out And Florian said to me, "Oh, please don't touch them." And what was touched was me, because I thought, oh my Lord, these people are actually going to take care of these things in a way that I could not. And that brings me great joy. When the wall went down, my mother was still alive. And she was ill. And she was in bed, and I sat on the foot of her bed, and we watched television. And we both cried with joy that the wall came down, and with frustration and sorrow that we could not be here. It is wonderful last year that I saw the united city again. It is wonderful that last night I was invited to the German-Russian Museum to see an exhibit on Lend-Lease. For my mother was a very internationally minded person. We had Russian friends who came to our house. Mariana Koshevnikova had a daughter my age, and she had the same kind of job in the Russian military government that my mother had in the American military government. They were good friends. Many times we had Russian friends at our house. I remember fondly the Russian Press Club. Oh, a taste of caviar, a little Georgian wine. It was fabulous. But I have to tell you, I was 10 years old at the time, and they didn't let me have any vodka. Perhaps it's just as well. I was already half asleep by the time they showed us this gorgeous film, Russian film, that had a magnificent flying white horse in it. Things like that you don't forget. My life in Berlin put marks on me, not scars, marks that will never go away. Thank you each and every one for being here. It means the world to me to know that my mother's legacy comes home. When she and I went back to America in 1953, of the last 7 years, I had spent maybe 7 months total in America. America was new and strange to me. Berlin was home. And my mother had spent out of 10 years, less than 3 months in America. So the same was true for her. America was new and strange to us. She was press, public relations. She went back to work as a reporter for the Chattanooga Times, and then she served on the staff of 6 Tennessee governors as speechwriter, head of the governor's correspondence section, and public relations officer.